Hey guys, this is Mario and I'm here at the Capilano Suspension Bridge. This is just a little bit north of Vancouver and I'm on this cliffside. It's a pretty damn awesome place. Decided to shoot a quick video in nature today to relate a little bit back to a video that I did previously on identity, willpower, habits, and motivation. So this video is actually going to be about momentum, which is one of the components that I mentioned last time that plays a key role when it comes to building that identity. A lot of guys just message me, hey man, I want that identity. I want to be that kind of person that doesn't miss gym. I want to be the person that has his nutrition handled, that has all the areas of my life handled. So how do I do that? And I feel like momentum is the key to getting started. And the key to getting the momentum is what I'm going to talk a little bit about today. And I want to start this video off with like an analogy, right? What does momentum look like when you're actually doing things? So the way I look at it is imagine an airplane taking off. And there's the pilot and there's a co-pilot and they're micromanaging a billion little things. And there's a stewardess, they're calming everybody down, they're getting everybody set up, everything has to be perfect for the plane to take off. And besides that, the plane itself has to have a lot of takeoff energy, right, to take off. It's a lot harder to take it off of the ground than it is to actually fly the plane. When it gets initial inertia, when it gets that momentum, it just flies a lot easier, less fuel needed for that. So that's kind of what happens when a person enters the world of fitness and the world of nutrition. So it takes a lot of effort in the beginning to actually make it a lifestyle. And before you actually can make it a lifestyle, what tends to happen is that most people will tend to give up. And I'm going to actually make my cameraman a little bit move around here so you guys can see all this nice scenery. So what I mean by that is that in the beginning, when you're trying to make this a lifestyle, you're going to have to actually make sacrifices because it's not going to happen by itself. And I'm going to relate a little bit about to my friend Sam's story, who is a guy in his early 30s, has his business handled, has pretty much his social skills all perfect, and it's all right. But if you look at his health and if you look at his fitness, he's been lagging behind a lot, right? He's done gym a little bit in his early 20s, but it's really been an area of life that he has neglected. And that's pretty much a similar story that I hear a lot from clients, from people who stick out to me. These are all guys who have their businesses handled, have their other areas of their life handled. So I come to Sam for business advice, right? I mean, it's a guy who is a hustler. He can always tell me something I can implement, something I can make my business better. But as we talked about it one day, and we just kind of went into the topic of momentum and building and how to make a business successful, he asked me, okay, look, you seem to have this fitness and health thing on autopilot, right? It's just happening automatically. And how did you get there, right? And in his world, it's like the hardest thing to do. And in my world, the business is probably right now the hardest thing I can imagine to do. And it's just two different worlds, like two different guys. And we're trying to relate a little bit about what does make a thing hard, right? And in his life, I think he knows what it means to be successful in something. He knows how to achieve success in something. And we came down to like kind of analyzing the areas of our lives and seeing how far are we in each area of our lives, right? So you can look at 4 areas of life, right? You can look at happiness, like being present in the moment. You can look at health. You can look at relationships, social skills, and business. So a lot of mentors like Ty Lopez or like RZ Tyler talk about these areas. And it's really key to understand that in all different areas, there's a different journey, right? So for example, take my friend Sam. And in business, he's like 10 out of 10, right? He has everything handled. Business is pretty much going awesome. And in social skills, he's like 9 out of 10, right? He's almost there. Like, it's really just subtle changes. But looking at nutrition and fitness, he's like 1 out of 10, right? He doesn't know anything about that. And looking at myself, for example, let's say my health can be like 9 out of 10. My business may be like 4 out of 10 where I want it to be. And for me to get my business ahead, I would actually have to put a pause on how am I going to develop myself further in health and fitness, right? Because as you go from like 1 to 5, let's just use a random scale, which is I'm just using it as an analogy. As you go to 1 to 5, it's actually not so hard. When you get to 5 to develop from like to 8, But to get that from like 8 to 10 or 9 to 10, to make that skill set perfect, it takes more effort from getting to 9 to 10 than it gets from like 1 to 9. So I can basically put a hold on my health life a little bit, on my fitness life, and just get results from the knowledge I currently have. So I don't have to spend like hours and days and months and getting that 1% extra. I can spend more energy on developing my business. So that's something that you just have to choose which area of your life you want to focus on more at that specific time where you're at right now. And a pretty interesting concept there is that a lot of guys that I meet, a lot of guys who reach out to me and they want to get coached, they want to get this area of their life handled, what happens is that they're not willing to make that sacrifice, right? Because it's a lot easier to do the thing that you're already good at. It's a lot easier to just continue doing whatever you're doing, and it's a lot easier just to keep doing that because it makes you feel good. And obviously we're creatures of like motivation that comes back to, we are running away from whatever causes pain and running toward things that cause pleasure. And that's why we are more inclined to do things that are already giving us pleasure than doing new things which are going to be painful in the beginning. And as a person who is new to the journey, as someone who hasn't done it for a while, you'll definitely relate to the fact that it's a lot harder to start. And I mean, when I started out, I was complete disaster, complete mess, and a lot of failures, right? And a lot of pain, a lot of different kinds of things happen in your life, and you're just like, damn, I don't know even how I did it. You know, I have no idea how I stuck in there, you know, to get to there, but to get to here, but pretty awesome, right? So to get that initial momentum, going back to the fact that you need the momentum, is you have to do the sacrifice, right? You have to do the sacrifice. You have to put a hold on different kinds of things. So you can analyze your life. You can find things that are taking away energy from you, things that are kind of making you miserable, things that are just not contributing to whatever that priority is. And at every point in your life, you're gonna have like your priority list, and whatever area of your life is the most underdeveloped at that point, I'm assuming that your goal would want me to develop that, and then you want to put that as a priority number one. So every decision you're making in your life has to be going through that priority list and seeing, okay, is the decision that I'm doing today, even though it's good for my business, but is it good for my health? Like, is staying up at night working 16 hours a day for weeks and months, is it really just me running away from handling my health, my fitness? Or is it me that I just can't have to do something in my business that is like crucial? And in most cases, when I talk to guys who really are open and honest with me, who are my friends, who I know for years, they are willing to admit that they're actually working very hard on a thing, but it's really running away from another area of their life where they're not developed enough to get that positive emotion from hustling there. And that's something I would really want you to look at yourself. And I know this video is like all over the place probably, and I hope you got a lot out of it. And talking about a specific topic like momentum is very esoteric and hard, especially for me, who am a more person inclined of action, right? So I'm not more inclined to take too much theory, while I would much prefer for you to figure this out on your own through action. So let's make it very actionable. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to first analyze the area of your life, same as I did with my friend. So you want to look at your areas of your life. So are you 10 out of 10 in business? Are you 10 out of 10 in health? Are you 10 out of 10 in your social skills? Are you 10 out of 10 in your presence? I mean, look at this place. You could be pretty much present here all day long, and you can like stand somewhere there and be present, enjoy everything, and spend your days like that. But if you're 10 out of 10 there, what is happening with your business? Is your health going to be impacted by that? Or how are you going to meet someone like cool to like establish good relationships in your life? So first I want you to analyze your areas of your life, see which one area is the most one lagging behind, and I want you to think about what are you willing to sacrifice to get that area of your life up to speed, to get that area of your life at least to a degree of where the other areas of our life are. And I hope that kind of analysis and a self-analysis, because these are really the hardest things in the world, is to analyze yourself and admit that you're doing something wrong or that you have been neglecting something, which is definitely probably, for me, is the hardest thing to do. I'm assuming that you're also resonating with the fact that just putting aside your ego and just looking at yourself from a very critical standpoint is very hard, even though a lot of mentors and a lot of philosophers talk about it. I mean, the knowledge that comes from just yourself is a lot more than people think. If you just put the ego aside, you already know what you need to do, right? Your brain and yourself, your intuition already knows what you need to do, but it's kind of the ego is in the way, right? So it's holding you back from doing what has to be done. So you're taking the path of least resistance, as like Brian Tracy says. We are more inclined to go to the path of least resistance than actually take on a new path, which is gonna lead to greater gains, right? To a path like of, I want to take the narrow road. Like there's a book called like The Road Traveled Less, right? So I want to check that book out. Yeah, so I hope you got out of this. So first I want to analyze your life, and the second thing is I want you to get understanding that whatever you're gonna tackle, if it's health and fitness, is gonna take a shit ton of effort in the beginning. So I don't want you to give up. I want you to keep hustling, and once you get through that initial phase, you're gonna get that momentum. You're gonna continue going on, and I'll see you on the other side. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got out of it, and I'll see you in the future video. If you have any comment, if this actually resonated with you, if you feel like you've kind of reinforced some of your current beliefs or just learned something new, definitely leave me a comment below and let's discuss that. Let's share some good ideas, and I'll see you guys in the next video, and peace.